Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back on the breakfast. This time taking a look at a brand new game from Steve Finn and Dr. Finn's games called The Feds. Let's take a quick look at it. All right, this is pretty much everything you're going to get in the Feds box. What is the game about? You're federal agents and you're trying to send in your agents into different criminal organizations and arrest as many criminals as possible. Obviously, the game is all about scoring points, and at the end, when all the cards have been played, you'll flip your player card over, and on the back, you've got a chart. So collecting certain colors of the bad guys, the criminals, are going to score you points all the way up to 20. The pinks take a lot more to get to that 20, but there are a lot more of them. And then, of course, the oranges, you only need 6 to get that full 20. So this is your player board here, and the player board, the way I have it set up, matches up to what we see on the board itself, the different areas of the capital city. In this case, I'm playing with what I think is a promo. I'm playing with the New Orleans card, and the reason I'm doing that is because, full disclosure, I did kind of talk to Dr. Steve Finn and some other friends early on in the process when he was working on the story of the game. I didn't do very much, but I'd suggested New Orleans as a background for the game, and he was kind enough, although he went with the Feds theme, he was kind enough to include New Orleans as a kind of a promo card. So what's cool about this game is that all of the different cities that are included in the game, all of them change the game a little bit in different ways. So every time you play, it's going to be a little bit different. For instance, in the New Orleans one, it gives you some powers that when certain cards come out, it's going to allow you to affect the board a lot. Because what we're trying to do is we've got this deck of cards, and each one of these are our agents, our field agents. They have different powers from 1 all the way to 4. Secretly, we're going to pick one of these cards. We're going to place it face down on our player board when we yell 3, 2, 1. And wherever you put it, which one of the 4 spots, that's the spot that you're going to put the card out on the board. And of course, the first time it goes out, it's just a mole. It's going where no one else can see it. So let's say that I picked the restaurant and everybody else picked other spots. When it's time to reveal, I'll put mine face down right here on the restaurant. The next person that goes to the restaurant is going to boot the mole, is going to expose that mole, and they'll become a rookie. The rookie, now we can see that number. And as each agent comes out, more rookies will come out as we flip out those moles. During that time, if any of, in the New Orleans scenario, if any of the cards match up to the power on these sirens, then we'll actually be able to do something. In the New Orleans game, it says that when the location has a number of field agents equal to or higher than that siren, then the player with the most strength, no ties, and that's the most amount of power at that person. So a 1 and a 4 would beat 2 2s, for instance, of a different color. They'll be able to pick any one criminal from that location. So that's a way of stealing it. Now, the New Orleans scenario also has ways of adding back additional criminals. In addition, the New Orleans scenario has these tokens, 2 of them face up and 2 of them face down. And what's cool about that is whoever gets the strength at the end of the game is going to win one of those tokens. So that token could be a 1, 2, 3, or 4. You won't know because 2 of them are random and face down. So, all right, back to your turn. I've got this flipped out. Notice that the cards also have little tiny, some of the cards have little tiny tags on them. For instance, this one has this kind of spy looking guy, the infiltrator. This one has the patrol car, the blue one, and the pink one is the redeploy. So they're going to work similar in the different games, but each city does it a little bit differently. For instance, in the New Orleans one, the infiltrator is all about flipping the mole, looking to see if it has a special power, and then using that power. The redeploy allows you to swap stuff. You can swap rookies, you can swap criminals, siren tokens, and you can swap the utility tokens. So if you're strong in one particular part of the city, maybe you're strongest in the restaurant, you're going to want to manipulate that. And then, of course, the patrol car, which is the blue one, allows you to just draw 2 criminals from the bag and place them at that location. Again, if you're strong in that location, you're going to want to pull and put right in that location that you're already in. So once we play all 7 cards, we'll take a look in each different district. We'll check out the strength, And we know what the strength is because as we put new cards into the moles, we're flipping them out into the field from rookies all the way to field agents. But we don't know exactly what it is because there may be a mole that's still left undiscovered at the end. And that's kind of the fun of the game. Trying to jockey for position, figuring out what the other players have. And there's only 7 cards, so you're going to kind of figure a lot of what's going on in the game. There is a lot of math in this game, but we played it the other night, and the New Orleans one, although it was a little bit fiddly because of these move around rules and the siren tokens and everything else, we did find it very strategic as people were jockeying for position in each one of the districts. For me, I saw that there was a lot of the green ones, and I just kind of focused on getting them all, as many as I could, and then try to sneak in a couple ones. One of the districts I totally just left behind. I didn't even look at it at all. I figured I'll spot my strength in 2 or 3 of them. I didn't worry about the warehouse at all, and I kept tagging into the other 3 districts. If ever a location gets filled with a certain amount of field agents, they do have stop signs that are going to lock that location out. So you're not going to be looking at all 4 districts the entire game unless a card says otherwise. That district, when it has enough cards, you will not be able to put any more cards into that district during that step whenever you're taking a look at your hand, flipping it upside down, hidden, and then placing it in your little district. So that's a little bit how to play the feds and also some of the strategy that we found when we played. It is fast playing. You're picking a card, you're putting it down on your board as soon as everybody's ready, and then you're taking that action to put the mole out and boot anybody out into the field that's already there, exposing the moles that are already there. So each turn plays pretty quick. You're going to do them in order, but since it's a 2 to 4 player game, this is not going to take a long time. I think the box says 30 to 45 minutes, and that's about right. If you know this game, you're going to be knocking this thing out in about 30 minutes. What is expected? It actually happens. Dr. Steve Finn has built a reputation of, they call him the king of the filler, right? Of having these 20 to 30 minute games that don't feel like 20 to 30 minute games at all. They feel like a big game experience in a little box. And he's done it again. The Feds has that. If you like these area majority games, because that's really what you're looking at, you're trying to have a majority of the strength in your agents, and you also like there to be interaction, in other words, the ability to manipulate what's going on, then you're going to like a game like this. Even if it's not your favorite, the game only lasts about 30 minutes. One of the guys we played with, it's not his favorite genre. But as he said, the game was so fast, he just kind of went along for the ride playing the cards. I like having my own deck. That is with the 3 special powers. That's fun because you get into that mind game of, man, which am I gonna? I see the colors on the board already. I know which districts are pretty strong in terms of which criminals have already come out and how many points we can score. But is everybody else thinking that? Maybe I should go away from that and go for the second strongest one. So you've got all those little mind games, and I do like that. And I love the fact that there's some lanyap, some unexpected lanyap. When I had talked to Dr. Steve a long time ago about this game, it was going to be about a city, a capital city. And then when we get the box, it's got all these different cities, including this New Orleans promo card. That's fantastic. Love a game that comes with lanyap like that, where it's just that little extra that you weren't expecting that's going to just bring out some replayability every time. All right, so that's the Feds from Dr. Finn's games. It's a fast-playing little puzzle with a lot of player interactivity in a small box. Plus, it's got that lanyap. It's got that extra, those cards that kind of change the way the game sets, especially the New Orleans card that I enjoyed so much. Until next time, laissez le bon temps rouler.